Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast. Welcome back to, I just said welcome back twice. Fuck my life. Anyways, episode 233. I'm here. I know I've been gone. It's a whole thing. Graham's not here. Fuck that guy. He needs to go do RV things. But we have Hayes on, who we haven't had in a long time. He's been doing a whole sorts of cool shit, all sorts of cool shit. And he stopped doing boat stuff. So thank God he finally, got his act together on that end of things. But yeah, pretty much welcome back to another
I'm
amazing
here
episode.
too.
Everybody, oh shit, I forgot that's what Graham does. Graham says that Luke and Richie's here as well. Blah, 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 blah. I can mess up somebody's last name if we want. I can try to, make it on brand if we think that that's a good thing. But I already fucked up the whole intro anyway, so it doesn't matter. But quick thing before we get into the whole podcast is that we want to talk about how we are switching to a every other week basis. So all in all, pretty much we're just recognizing that like it's been almost 5 years now, right? Like we've been doing this weekly, ongoing, and we just started to realize that like
We're
weekly
adults.
was a yeah, we're adults. Weekly was a lot of fucking work. And it just felt that we were gonna get better like consistent content if we went to every other weekend. I know I apologize to all the people that are affected by this who are not happy about this, as seen on our Instagram post about this, and we are truly sorry, but we do feel that instead of forcing the content weekly, by doing it every other week, we will actually have good proper content to put out there. Luke can mention, talk on that as well, but this is
Yeah.
just something that was
Also,
happening.
not for nothing, but it's been 5 years. We've been doing this shit every week, and, stuff's just starting to change. Other stuff's going on in life. Graham's been busy with the shit he's got going on. Cody's been busy with the stuff he's got going on, and Richie had a fucking kid, so, you know.
To be fair, I had a kid 4 years ago.
I mean, yeah, but you have a 4-year-old now that you have to take care of. It's not like we're. I don't know how to put this right, but, it's not like we're out wheeling every weekend like we used to be in
Yeah,
2020.
it's funny. I just had this conversation when me, Graham, Alexis, and RJ hung out this past weekend. Like, I literally looked at RJ and I was like, dude, I wish you were there for those, like, fucking golden years. Like, truly, where it was me, Luke, Colin, Graham, Richie, like, every fucking weekend we were going to a different spot. And life was so simple then. I miss those days. Before COVID, you know what I mean? Where, like, there was actually concerts that you could go to and have fun.
I
Like,
I actually perverted. I preferred the COVID year.
Dude,
We
it,
really?
wheeled. We wheeled so fucking much that year.
Did we?
yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
we were. I I was out on trail at least every other weekend.
Yeah,
At least.
that was like the year after I had finished the tons. We had the cage all done and all that, and I had a semi-reliable motor in it, so we were just out wheeling all the fucking time with a mid-season repower in a weekend. Um, yeah, that was a good fucking year. I destroyed the fucking Jeep quite a few times that year.
It
Um,
it was
But
probably the most wheeling I've done in my life was that year.
But to circle back to kind of what we're talking about is that we're just not wheeling as much. So the content that came super simple to us back then, talking about the different events, it was rolling off the tongue like nothing. So weekly, we had enough content to support that. And at the moment, that's just not how it is. And now, if there's something that changes in the future, we'll keep you guys updated. But at the moment, this is how it's going to be. What
Another
was the other thing
part
that you wanted?
Well, I want to talk
Go
about the Web Wheelers Ball in a moment. Another part about this was we were alternating recording days because I'm on a rotating
Yeah,
schedule, and that shit got real old real quick when it came to planning. And even though I'm the guy on the rotating schedule, I would get fucking dates wrong all the time, so it's easier for us to just record on the same day every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
it got
now,
that's for
confusing
sure.
sometimes.
Now on the Web Wheelers Ball, we're doing it at Roush this year. Same as it's been every other year. You know, I'm going to pull into the parking lot, find a cool camping spot, and wheel with whoever's around and whoever's running what I want to go and run. So that's basically the plan. It's going to be Labor Day weekend like it always is, and that's that's the update. It's going to be fucking sick like it was last year. We're hoping that the weather is a little bit less rainy than last year, but whatever. It wasn't terrible.
Hey, as long as it's drier than when you guys go to AOP.
Oh,
Fucking
It
jeez.
it should be.
Every AOP trip ever, you mean?
Yeah, honest to
fucking.
God.
Oh, hello, by the way. I'm honored to be part of the bi-weekly program.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck's up?
Hell
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Yeah, just getting back from yet another rainy AOP weekend. Still recovering from the infinite beers that were deleted over the weekend while my rig was on the mountain.
Oh Lord, isn't that the new rig? Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck has been going on with that shit? You had a rock lobster with a big buck chevy, and what else? Like,
yeah, I guess we should probably rewind to maybe last time we talked when I was pulling y'all's
Holy
leg
sh. Oh my God.
about the transmission in the YJ, the old, the now 2 rigs ago.
Oh my god.
Which is funny to me because the last time you were on, you had the red rig. You just didn't talk about it yet, which I think is fucking hysterical because then you sent me a picture at the end of it and you're like, "Oh, bye," or it was like the next day or something. It was like so close to the to that episode that I was like, "This motherfucker right here, right? Like this fucking guy."
Well, I couldn't. Well, all right. So, truth be told, it was in the works for a while, and with my rig being at the trans guy, I I wasn't 100% certain it was going to happen. And so I didn't want to go saying stuff that I was going to have to eat later if it didn't work out or if,
Yeah,
because it was a
that's
trade
fair.
deal. And so, like, there was a lot of moving parts that had to work. Like, he had to say yes, I had to say yes, and we, worked out a time and everything. And when this deal started, I was out of the country and marketplacing across the world and telling my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I might have sold our YJ. She's like, what the hell? I left you alone for 5 hours and you've done this.
What
So
else are you gonna do on the beach?
there was a lot of stuff going on. But yes, so I got King Julian back from the transmission guy, Billy Trans, and quickly, I think it was like the next day, I got the thing back, and the guy that I got the red rig from was bugging me. He's like, "Where's the rig? Like, I'm ready to trade, yada yada." And so I'm like, "All right, cool." Picked it up from the trans guy, and I think I took it like straight to that guy down in South Carolina like the next day. And so roll up, we decided, hey, we're gonna keep our wheels and tires, a couple grand on top, no big deal. So it was pretty much a done deal. Shook hands, parking lot. It's sold now, and we'll go get into that later. But it was a freaking full-on tube chassis buggy with a big block, uh, Chevy drivetrain, turbo 400, big old 205 with a doubler. It was real fancy. Had like a ton of money spent in weird places, like S Pod, freaking like touchscreen everything, Holly Sniper, Rigid Industries rock lights, like
Okay,
just
but like can we just talk super quick? In the most respectful way, the YJ wasn't all that special. Why the fuck did this guy trade it to you?
and that's why I was hesitant to say anything on the podcast, number one, and number two, I wasn't sure if this guy was smoking or what, because I mean we all
Yeah,
know
holy fuck.
we know the YJ, and what I gave him on top, the cash wise, was not a lot. It was, we'll call it basically a straight trade, and like keeping wheels and tires, but like it was a very negligible amount, and so I was like what the hell kind of crack is this guy smoking? Like I didn't know the guy, nobody really knew the guy, and like we'd heard through the grapevine that he does a lot of rig trading, so I was like, I don't know, man, like is this really going to happen? Like, is this rig really as good as it looks in these pictures? And I mean, it was. I was impressed by it. Freaking fires up and it sounds like Monster Jam Gravedigger. and we're like ripping around this Love's truck stop in the middle of the day, just fucking hauling ass in a big block rock bouncer race car, basically.
Hell
And
yeah.
so I was kind of entranced by it all, but I made the mistake of not letting it run long enough to like. When I was there in the parking lot, I didn't let it run long enough to see that it overheats like a motherfucker. And so
That's shitty.
not so good. Yeah, it was like just bebopping around. So get it home, put it in the garage. I'm like tinkering on some stuff. I wanted to change a few things before like we had a trip planned to go to Good Evening Ranch and just kind of do a shakedown booze cruise. It was supposed to be like a good time. Figured the rig was dialed because I was told it was dialed. And so get there and we hit Cripple Creek, and halfway up Cripple Creek, this thing's running 240 already. And I'm like, oh boy. And it's spicy, it's rowdy. We're freaking ripping. It's throwing fireballs out the exhaust. Like it's a good time, but she's running hot. And so I open the hood and the belt's gone. I'm like, oh shit, it's the water
That'll
pump's
do
not
it.
running. Like it's the voltage is going down, like all this stuff. So I'm like, shit, yeah, easy. We'll put a belt on, slap a belt on it. Thing's still not charging, still overheating, still so many things going on. Like we're running on like 9 volts now, so the Holly Sniper was like shorting out and it was running all funky. So get to town, get an alternator just to see if that would give it enough voltage to run the fans higher RPMs, try to get some cool air through the radiator. Freaking earlier that day, Devin had done some laundry and my truck keys went through the wash.
Oh
and
no.
they've got the little fob in there. And so it gets us, truck fires up, it gets us to the parts store, but
Dies at the parts store?
did not recognize the key once we got to the parts store.
Oh no.
So we're there, we're excited, we got our new alternator, and now the tow rig won't run. And so we're like, fucking hell. And so we're scrambling to like see who, like, we're fucked off, right? And it's a holiday weekend, it was Easter. And so everybody who could bring us a spare key at the house was like dealing with family or out of town or like, and all of my friends are there with us in Good Evening Ranch. We're all wheeling together. So it's like all my 911 people are all tied up. I was like, Jesus Christ, we're so fucked. Tow rig won't run, rock crawler won't run, just a disaster. And
It
so
just
we
won't
had
run.
yeah, nothing. And so we had one of our friends come by the house and like on the phone told him where the spare key would be, and he checked everywhere. And so we're like, fuck, could it be in the truck? Like, I know Devin had to use the spare key the other day because I had the normal key with me while I was at work and blah, blah, blah. And so the girls left while we were trying to get the alternator in the red rig and went back to the truck that we had to abandon at the parts store. And luckily, like an hour later, I hear the blow off valve of the 6.7 coming up the hill at Good Evening Ranch. I'm like, oh, thank God, the spare key was in there in the like the console on the dash that no one ever looks in,
Yeah.
So
Damn.
yeah, so that was a major a bolt of lightning from God. Shout out to God, got us a fucking 6 hours home the next day, which was sweet. But anyway, nothing but issues. Got the new alternator in. It's still not charging. Rewired the whole thing because it's a GM one wire. I mean, it's foolproof. It's one wire. Ran that wire from the back of the alternator straight to the battery. Still only pulling like 10 volts. And so with that, it wouldn't run the fan at high enough voltage to cool the thing adequately or to run the Holly or to do anything. So we ran half a trail, put it back on the trailer, struggled with the tow rig, pulled it home, get it here, unload it. Freaking, I get another alternator because I'm like, all right, this might have been just a bad unit. Another alternator on there, still not charging. Rewire it again. it's pulling like 12 volts at this point. It's like charging, but it's still not like a full 13.6 or 14.4 or whatever they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's
And
like the
so,
range.
yeah, and still just not quite in the range. And then here comes AOP meet and beat trip. And so we're like, fuck, I guess we'll see what happens. Pull it out to AOP, same thing. And also, well, actually, no. We did that at AOP. So we get to AOP, we unload off the trailer, we blast up and try to find some of our friends on 41 that were just bebopping a little night ride boost cruise. It's fucking banging 250 degrees trying to get up the mountain again. It's just hot. And so we knew something was still wrong. And we get up to 41. We're banging on it. It does decent, but it's fucking 260 first day.
Oh my, yeah, that's hot. That's fucking hot.
So get it back down, put it in the field, blow the hood off, do a couple laps around the field just on flat ground, and it's 240 flat ground, just like idling around the AOP field. So I'm like, fuck, what's going on with this thing? And I look at the fan, and the fan is pulling. It's a pusher fan setup, so it's on like the grill side of the outside of the front of the Jeep. I'm like, shit. How did I not notice this before? It's trying to push cool air instead of pull cool air through the radiator. Like maybe if I find another radiator or fan setup like local, it'll bring the temps down. So I drive from AOP to Nashville, buy a radiator with a fan shroud, fan setup, dual fan deal from a drag car guy out of Nashville, and he was that was actually a pretty funny marketplace deal because that guy was cool as fuck. He was this old head dude, and we roll up, and he's like, I hop out of the truck, and I'm wearing my freaking like one of my typical drip sets. Like I look like a fool. I look like I was dressed by some sort of like
Hell yeah. You're in
yeah,
like a party shirt. You're
yeah. Party shirt, bucket
dude.
hat. Like I'm covered
Let's
in mud.
go.
Got the yeah. I look like an idiot. And the dude is he just says first thing he says, dude, you're badass. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? He was like, you're fucking badass for driving 3 hours to Nashville to get a radiator so you don't ruin your weekend with your friends wheeling in the woods. I was like, ah, yeah. Like shit, like we're out here for a week. We are overheating this
Oh
thing on day
yeah.
one. Like it was Tuesday at this point where I'm driving to Nashville and back. We were there till Sunday. And so I knew that like if we couldn't fix this thing early on or at all, like the week was about to suck. For wheeling at least. I mean, hanging out with your friends is always fun, but like I mean you drag your shit 8 hours for us out of North Carolina. You want to run trails. I wanted to get active, break some parts. And so
See what that
long
big
story
block
short,
Chevy could do.
yeah, wanted to freaking do the drags, the whole nine. So we get it back, get the new radiator in. Um, excited to test it next day. I think this is Wednesday at this point. And at this point, Jordan had showed up, and he's got some mechanical knowledge a little bit more than I do. And so we put this radiator in. The fans are pulling the right way. We got decent voltage now. So everything is looking pretty good. Putting around the parking lot, 240 degrees. I'm like, fuck. So we pop the thermostat out and we try to bleed the whole cooling system again because
Just to clarify, you checked for like typical head gasket issues, right? Like, I mean, like you tested the coolant, like made sure it wasn't all gunky, like.
I mean, yeah, it looked good, but
Okay.
I don't know what kind of Houdini like Facebook Marketplace stuff the guy I bought it from did, if any.
Spraying methanol in the fuel.
No, just
No,
regular pump gas.
no, but I'm saying he could have done a mix.
Oh,
It's a
right.
poly system. You could get it to run on. Actually, yeah, there's just so many things that it could be because it was a big block, right?
Yeah. And it
So I
was a
mean,
pretty rowdy one too. It was like a 438, so it was like a punched out 426, I think.
Did you ever check what the tune was? Like, was it just timed super fucking hot and intended to run like a methanol fucking fuel mixture, and he just didn't know any better and didn't tell you any different?
And so I think what happened was at Good Evening Ranch, and this is like giving old buddy the benefit of the doubt. Like if he sold me a perfectly good running machine, I think at Good Evening Ranch, when the belt blew off, I think that the battery died and it wiped the tune, maybe. And so then it went to like some sort of bass tune, and that bass tune wasn't right, which then in turn may have eaten the head gasket.
Because
Or
bass tunes are usually designed to be like the safest possible option.
right.
Like they run super super rich. They kind of, but I mean, it's possible. You're not wrong. That definitely is possible.
Yeah, and the thing, it was running, I think it was lean because it was like the AFR was really high and it was just blowing fireballs out of the exhaust at like idle. It just got really hot. Like it probably would have been fine for like a race car, like a fucking rock bouncer outlaw series shit.
Hmm.
And maybe that's what it was tuned for. Maybe that's what it ran in its previous life. I don't know. But it definitely could not hang like for more than 5 minutes on the throttle before it was just hot. And then, so I think, admittedly, it did get hot a few times and probably did cook that head gasket because then we were trying everything and it just wouldn't stay cool at all. Like no thermostat, fresh coolant, fans on 10, fresh voltage, all the things. We throwing parts at it left and right, and it probably just may have been in need of a rebuild or a head gasket or something. Or the tune was just so far off and it was running way too lean.
Wasn't
Fuel
it
pump.
running like a 30-to-1 AFR at one point?
Yeah.
That's fucking yeah. No wonder it was shooting fireballs out of the fucking exhaust. Like that's
Yep.
actually insane. But like again, on a meth setup, dude, I'm actually really curious if that's a possibility of why, because methanol runs super super cool, right? So you can run it lean and it won't have any like it won't have as many issues, and it would keep the engine super fucking cool. I don't know.
I don't know if you can use methanol with the sniper though. I just don't
With the what?
fucking with the sniper EFI.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, you can run fuel mix setups like let's say they did like a 50-50, right? Like a 50-50 gas, 50-50 methanol and run that. Like that is absolutely a thing you can do. And big blocks like that shit. So,
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. The guy I bought it from, he he told me it wasn't any sort of like crazy setup and it wasn't supposed to be set up for a race car. Like as far as I know, I don't know what that guy really did to it as far as like a detune or a tune. I took it to no. Later on, after I had already gotten rid of it, I went to Gulch's and Brandon Collins, the owner of Gulch's, was like, we were there broken in the parking lot again. And he said that he did see the guy I bought it from, like, he had a tuner there and they were like doing some test and tune stuff at the park. So he was like, I saw it get tuned. I know it had a tune on it at some point. But what that tune was for, I don't know. Like race car tune, who
yeah.
knows? And then maybe the battery's dying, wiped it, and it was like a hard tuned
I
system,
mean,
so
it
it
doesn't
wouldn't.
necessarily have to be that the like you could have literally just if it died enough that it was no longer showing the display and you didn't know the temp you were running and you ran that thing for fucking anything above 220 for a while, you could have just smoked the head gasket, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, and that's true. So yeah, it's I really can't even pin it on the guy I bought it from because
yeah.
I mean maybe it smoked the head gasket that time that one time that the belt blew off, and so I'm not mad at that guy or like whatever. I mean, Facebook Marketplace trade deals go south. Someone's got a hot potato. Both people have hot potatoes. Shit happens. So you roll the dice. Sometimes you win. Um, Frustrating
sometimes.
for sure because we ran one trail at the entire meet and beat. We were there for Monday through Sunday, and we did 41 once. And so that was frustrating because we basically threw everything we had at it, and it just wasn't something we could fix there in the field. Um, but luckily, we got to ride with a bunch of people, and it was still a fantastic week. I mean, it rained like crazy, but there were plenty of times for doing shit in the creek and hanging out at Lovett's, and we did all the AOP things, and the drags were fun. All the boys were there. We're all drinking, so it was a good time. But then quickly after that is when I was like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of this thing. So I'm going back and forth with people on Marketplace trying to trade it for stuff, and I was as honest as I could be. Like I was like, this thing needs a tune really bad, but otherwise, it's got really good parts on it. It's a good rig. It's strong. It's flashy if that's what you're looking for.
Oh,
And
it
so,
is definitely flashy. That is definitely true.
and so a dude with my now current rig reaches out and he's like, I might consider trading you for what I've got. And he described his rig, and it basically is the same as King Julian in a different font. And so, and he was looking to get more into the bouncer style stuff, and I was looking to get back into the trail rig style stuff. So we had like similar goals in mind. Um, and so meet this fella. I mean, this thing is sweet. It's my yellow CJ now. It's got an LT1 Chevy running gear, Atlas transfer case, turbos 350, 40. We we the wheels and tires went with the rigs on this one, and so he got my kind of smoked 43s, and I got his brand new 43s.
What the fuck? How the hell did you weasel that deal?
Yeah.
Oh, because technically the what you were selling, trading was quote unquote better. I get what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. So he thought I was like quote unquote downgrading, and he was quote unquote upgrading, and so
Yeah.
it was sort of what happened to me in the first place. Like when I thought I was upgrading, which it was. Like I'm not hating on the rig. I don't regret that I owned it. Like because it was a cool rig and a good time, but like it's just not the rig for what we do here. Like on the weekends with our friends, like drinking beers and stuff. We're not racing. We're not horsepower hungry dudes that are like dying to wrench on this stuff. We just want turnkey motors that run and rigs that drive.
Yeah, we just want to go fucking wheeling.
Yeah, I'm not rock bouncing shit. I don't have any interest in rock bouncing at all. And so if I can just crawl something with a super low range, I'm good. Room for the cooler, even better. Which that rig, the red one, had neither of. So yeah, I'm happy now with the yellow one, but it's got its issues just like the red one did, and just like any rig does, that we're
All
trying to
rigs
work
have
out.
issues.
Yeah, and so this one, we acquired it and then took it to Gulches for a little shakedown, booze cruise ride, and it starts like the motor starts cutting out kind of funky, and it's one of those old LT1 Corvette motors, and
Don't
they've
they
got
have that
optic
weird,
spark.
yeah, Opti Spark bullshittery?
Yep. So it's got OptiSpark, so it's a little bit like it, I've heard that they're kind of finicky, and so I was kind of expecting that already. So we're there, and it starts acting up and just messing with stuff, and the fuel pump is like the hot wire on the fuel pump inline pump is loose. So I'm like, oh, sweet, and put a wrench on it and tighten it a little bit, and the post just breaks off.
Oh
So.
my god.
And it's one of those that you can't like the post is the only thing that has power. Like you can't just like do a tack weld on something to make it work to get you back to the parking lot kind of deal. So that was I got all of 15 minutes of seat time that trip, and then dragged it on the trailer and took it home, slapped a new fuel pump in it, and then a couple weeks go by, and we're lined up to go to AOP this past weekend for Ultra 4. And so I'm like pretty confident in the rig. Shit's dialed, drives down the road, stays cool, like stereo works, room for the cooler, all the good things. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a good trip. We need a good trip this year. And we roll up Thursday night and call the boys. They're up running the race course, the Ultra 4 race course, and they're like, just follow the orange arrows, we'll find you. Or you'll find us. And so me and Devin hop in the rig, we're following the orange arrows, we're bebopping along. Like an hour goes by, and Brandito calls me. He's like, "Hey, where are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just following the orange arrows. Probably, right around the next curve, hopefully." So he's like, "All right, see you soon." Another hour goes by. Brandito calls. He's like, "All right, where are you?" I'm like, "We're just following the orange arrows. I don't know." He's like, "You shouldn't have been. This shouldn't take you 2 hours. You're not on the right place." I'm like,
Were you on the
"Okay,
moto loop? Like, what were you doing?
I don't know where I am." Because the Ultra 4 race course is like 4 miles or something long. Like it's long. But I guess where they were shouldn't have taken that long at all. And we ended up passing that later on in the weekend, and I don't know how I missed them. But anyway, I'm cruising along. Me and Devin are solo. We're by ourselves. We're freaking bone sober. And we come down this drop, and the brakes. So I've got 2 feet on the brakes, and it's just like the drop is so hard that the brakes can't hold the rig. And so we like kind of crash into the wall of the trail and like hit a big old rock, and it kind of like shakes us up a little bit. We're like, "Oh shit, that was kind of a hard hit." And so then I reach down to the pedal, and there's no brakes at all. And I'm like, "Oh, this is good. This is a good time now. We have no brakes." And so we crest the hill, and it's Excavator Hill on the buggy side of the park. Like we're about to go down Excavator. And so I'm like, "No, we're not fucking doing this." Slam it in reverse, whip the rig around, and now we're going up what we just like launched off of the big drop that took our brakes out. And so beating on the rig, now I'm going backwards on the race trail, and we are beating on this thing, and we look down, and Devin's like, "You got quite a pile of fluid underneath you." And so I hop out, and
Yeah.
it's red fluid.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm like, "All right, there's transmission juice leaking everywhere." And so we start winching up the obstacle that we're beating on, and we're winching, and we get kind of most of the way up it, and the winch controller catches on fire.
What
What?
the fuck, dude?
Yep.
You're just having shit luck on shit luck.
The wires in the winch controller, I guess, were cut and shorting, and so the whole winch controller cord is just melting down as I'm using it.
Oh my god.
And so then, luckily, we were mostly up the obstacle, so like I hopped in it, and one more bump got us the rest of the way. And so then we're cruising again. We got no winch, we got no brakes, and we're just kind of cruising along. And if you recall, that fluid was red, and it's still leaking. And so we make it another 50 yards up the trail, and there goes reverse. So now we've got no brakes, no winch, and no reverse. And we're still by ourselves looking for our friends.
There's no way it gets worse, right?
Oh, well, not really. That was the meat of it. Shortly after we discovered we had no reverse, Jordan calls, and he's like, "All right, where the hell are you?" At this point, it's like 4 a.m, and we've been on trail since like 11 when we unloaded it off the trailer. Like, I don't know how we traversed that much of the park by ourselves looking for our friends on the race course, but that's just how the cookie crumbled. And so he and Cobby come blasting up like Granny Templeton or Soup Sandwich or something out of nowhere. And there we are, dead in the water in the dark at the ridge line of the buggy side of the park. And the rig's not going anywhere. And so Jordan helps us get it like off the race course, because the next day, like qualifying starting at 9 o'clock or something, like we can't just leave the rig in this area at all. And so we drag it kind of like to a safe area at the bottom of just like a big old fuck you ledge at AOP called Pretender, where we knew there were no rigs ever going to be. And we ditch it there. We ride three deep, me, Devin, and Jordan in Jordan's new race car deal, which is sick, by the way. We got to come back to that. And we abandon the vehicle and leave it there in the buggy side of the park, thinking, yeah, we'll just come back and get this tomorrow, no problem. Well, tomorrow rolls around and a Ultra 4 racing's happening. Everything's crazy. It's a now mind you, we're having a blast during this. Like vibes are still high. Like I'm not one to let like a broken rig ruin the whole weekend because I mean, regardless, I'm where I want to be with my friends, having a blast, drinking beers in the woods. Like that's that's still a good time.
Oh,
So
absolutely, yeah.
we watch Ultra 4 all day. We watch Brandito qualify, which was a blast. We're like running. Well, I guess we weren't pitting at that point, but next day we were running the pits and stuff, just waiting for him to come out of the woods, which he never did.
Oof.
It was like a four lap race or something, and nobody in the 4500 class made it one lap.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god.
So all of us are just waiting there, and we lost comms to him too, so he didn't even know if he was still moving or not. He he said it's doing what it was doing in qualifying, and then we lost him. And in qualifying, the rig was cutting out, and they put a fuel pump in it, thinking they had fixed the problem, and apparently it did not. So they made it like zero point 0.2 miles or something into the race course on race day. And so we're still having a blast though. We're in our party fits in the pits while there's like full blown race cars driving by with people in matching like uniforms and shit.
Hey, you guys were in uniform, all right? Don't ever let anybody tell you differently. All right.
Yep. Team loyalty with our freaking size 15 FUBUs on. Uh, there's probably pictures of that too. That doesn't make any sense yet, but it will eventually. But anyway, we leave the rig in the woods, and there's racing all day. So we embark on a journey to go get the rig out of the woods on Friday night, and we bring let's see, it was Shop Kid, Colin Samurai, Dwight, and I thought there was a fourth one.
Pork chop?
No, Prater rolled up on Saturday, but he was watching his kids, so he just drank like one beer with us in the pits and rolled on. It might have just been Jordan. Did I say that already? No, yeah. Dwight, Jordan, Colin, and Shopkid. Those were the four, and we embark up. I guess it was Granny Templeton because Dwight had just unloaded his shit off the trailer and he was like, I don't want to go straight into recovery mode. Like, can we take a cool trail to get there? And we're all like, yeah, that's not a problem. And so we blast off Granny Templeton in the wet and blow up 3 out of the 4 rigs trying to get to my rig. And so Dwight blew an axle shaft. Shop Kid blew a U joint out of the front. Jordan's was good. Colin blew a power steering pump and ran out of propane. So we had to abandon his shit on the hill too. And then everyone limped back. Jaron walked. And so we were like, oh, I guess we'll get the Samurai and my rig the next day. So we watched racing all day. Got some parts from the store. Shop Kid and Dwight fixed theirs up pretty quick. And me and Colin had to go get our shit Saturday night at this point. And showed up with like 2 gallons of ATF, maybe 2.5 gallons. And it was leaking out as fast as we were putting it in to try to get it to see if it had any gears. Still, well, we bled the brakes one time, and there was just enough to like kind of stop ish.
Suggest a location to park.
Yeah, exactly. Like enough and slow you down enough to jump out of the rig if you're about to like go off a cliff, you know. And so we did finally get the yellow machine having reverse and forward gears, and so it drove out on its own power, which is sweet. And then Collins was a pain because it blew up the steering, and so he had little to no steering, and went down, I think, Excavator Hill or Soup Sandwich or something, and with no steering, I mean, shit gets away from you quick, so he hit a big drop and blew up an air shock and tore up a bunch of stuff in the front end. And so it was an eventful AOP Ultra 4 weekend for sure, but geez, it was
Rough
on brand.
equipment.
Rough on equipment. And then the way home, I'm 45 minutes from home and I blow a trailer bearing, and that was another freaking 6-hour repair in a Big Lots parking lot in the pouring rain, trying to get the freaking heat welded inner bearing race off the spindle of the trailer, just hitting it with a hammer for like 3 hours straight. Didn't have a grinder, didn't have any tools other than a hammer, really. And so, geez, it's just been not our year, not my year for wheeling trails. I think we've done 5 trips or so now, and I think I've wheeled like 3 trails.
I empathize with you on the fucking trailer shit. It's horseshit.
And it was like salt on the wound too, because the rig had been on the mountain since we got there on Thursday, and we were finally like, all right, fuck this, let's go home, and then you can't even do that. So it's been a wild year so far. Lots of diagnostics and repairs. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what actually happened to it. I think that the bolts between the trans and the transfer case either broke or got loose, or the trans mount, something bad happened, and then it just pulled that seal apart, and it's just leaking out of the back of the tail housing. And so I got it in the garage now, which was scary because it still has no brakes. And I'm like launching my rig into the garage, pointing straight at everything I own. And once morale gets a little higher, I'll try to pull it apart and see what's going on. It's too damn hot out to be dealing with that stuff.
Fuck yeah, it is. I have to build
that.
I have to build a front drive shaft, and I've just been like, nah, fuck that. It's been fucking hot. I don't feel like crawling into the cover and then under the rig, and I'll get it done pretty soon, but I have to go buy 2 new trailer bearings, 2 new brake kits, and I'm just rebuilding the front axle on the trailer. I've replaced the rear axle this year. I'm over it with trailer problems. The last 2 trips that I went on, I've just had issues with it.
Yeah. And I'm not mad at the trailer either. And like, I bought the thing new in 2020, and I've been using the hell out of it for the last 5 years. And so I imagine it was probably due. It's just unfortunate that it is like just kind of kicking us while we're down a little bit. And it was the hottest day to be hauling shit too, doing 80 miles an hour in a 98-degree day.
Yeah, shit's gonna get spicy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, trailer fucking parts aren't that expensive. So.
Yeah, it was a pain because the bearing kit was like $15, and then you can get an entire hub assembly from Tractor Supply for like $100. Yeah. But it was, when I took the wheel off, it was a brake axle, and so if it had been the front axle, it was just like, drag axle, whatever. It pulled the studs out of the back, slap a new hub on, good to go. And I had to fully take the brake apart and use the bearings out of the assembly that I bought and put them in what I had, because what I had was different than what I bought, and it was just a disaster.
Mind you were doing this in a Big Lots parking lot in the rain, correct? Am I wrong about that? Or...
Yep. Yeah.
You were under the awning, though, right?
I was. So, yeah, that was cool. It was a Big Lots that was out of business. And so I parked my entire operation under the like where you're supposed to put the carts under the front awning, and it was pouring rain, and we were dry for the most part, and so that was cool. That was a silver lining. It could have been on the side of the highway, and we could have missed the Tractor Supply by the 3 minute window that we had to go get parts. We rolled in at 6:57. They closed at 7.
Jeez.
So silver linings again. Like that's just wheeling, I guess. Skin of our teeth. But yeah, it's been a frustrating time just trying to work through the kinks on multiple different rigs, and it's salt on the wound too that King Julian was finally going to be like pretty dialed with the new trans, and I traded it for what ended up being nothing but problems. And so it hurt. I saw the new owner of it. So the guy I traded for the red rig, he sold it for cash, I guess, to just like get out of that whole debacle that he was in. And the person that bought it was at the meet and beat, and they rolled in like Friday.
With King Julian?
Yeah.
Oh no! So you had
Yeah,
to
and
just be like, what could have been?
yeah,
Damn.
I know. And
Oh
I'd
man,
been there
that
all
hurts.
week with the rig that didn't work, that we ran one trail, and here comes King Julian, and the people were so excited to wheel it. They hadn't had it out yet. And here I am trying to buy it from them in the parking lot of El Toro, the Mexican place. And they're like, hell no, dude. What the fuck? What the hell? I'm like,
You're like,
no.
please give it back,
Yeah.
please.
Sell me that rig back. Fuck. So,
That's so funny.
yeah.
Well, the banana boat seems like it's gonna be decent once you get a couple of the kinks worked out of it.
Yeah. And it's easy stuff too. Like a bigger brake system or something off of like XJ and TJ brakes with the booster. Those are pretty good. I think King Julian had one out of like a Dodge van with a big
Yeah.
booster on.
Yep.
And those things locked up tight. So something like that. I think like a whole Willwood kit is only like $300 or something. So that should be easy. Try to put together the trans and transfer case situation. That should be fine. And then everything after that is just sort of normal stuff. But you don't know till you know.
No.
Yeah, lesson learned, right?
Yeah. Should have done more shakedown rides, I guess. But I mean, you at some point you kind of assume this stuff is. I mean, if it runs and drives down the road, you're like, all right, this should be fine to just bebop around some trails. So
I feel like it's always the opposite. The vehicles that don't drive down the road well are the best for off-roading. I just seems to be that way.
and that could be true too. I've got a $600 no title Cherokee with like a 2-inch budget lift and Mort's old 35-inch Mickey's on it, and that thing is the most fun I've had in a rig all year. We took it to Uwari and just like launched it off everything and didn't have a single issue. It was sick. And then, so
I
like
fucking love it.
you
Isn't
get
that
this like the death wish. What were you gonna say?
Isn't that just like the biggest fucking kick in the balls though, when it's the fucking $600 rig that's just bebopping around, and then you've got your shit over there, and it's like, all right, what the fuck is your problem?
Exactly. Like the big rig that is supposed to be like the Mac Daddy is having problems, and the $600 beater that you bought to like do one trail and explode it and burn it down and not take it home. That's the one that's running the same lines as Jordan in his Ultra 4 race buggy. And like stereo is wanging. We're having a ball in that $600 Jeep. I'm like, what the hell am I doing with all these big rigs? All I need is an XJ on 35s. That's it. Cody, I get it. I get why your rig is the way it is, dude. You got it figured out.
Yeah, see, you just gotta stop while you're ahead, and then look at your friends and go, "Damn, why is your shitbox not running?" It's like, "Oh, well, because it's been built for 14 years, beating the fucking piss out of it. Now my unibody's twisting sideways." It's like, yeah, no, that doesn't sound fun. Like,
Yeah. I mean, 1-ton Cherokees, I feel like they have a shelf life too. Like you can only plate them so much before they
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
120%. And then it just gets stupid.
Yeah, and you're just chasing down issues with everything because the frame itself is so out of whack that none of it lines up the way you built it originally.
Yeah, nothing in my rig lines up. Everything is fucking tied together into itself in multiple fucking retarded ways just to keep it from, like, moving. It it's all fake and gay.
Yeah, I think if I were to build a Cherokee, I would just like have a tube chassis and then just skin Cherokee panels on it after the fact.
Oh yeah, so like what well, what's his name had, right?
Um,
Uh dude, why am I blanking on his fucking name? That's terrible. Uh
Talking about Greenleaf?
no, the yellow
Okay.
Jeep what's his name had? Hold on,
Uh,
give me a
Eddie?
second. Eddie, yes, thank you. Jeez, dude, I did this last time I was on. I forgot Eddie's name too. That's twice in a row. That's fucked. God damn
I'm
Now you're
it.
just you're telling on yourself now.
I can't remember if that thing still had unibody in it or not.
It was at AOP this past weekend, but I didn't look up underneath it. Eddie's dad bought it back, so it's in the family again.
Yeah,
Oh
it's a
my
cool rig.
gosh.
Yeah, and yeah, they were part of the recovery mission to go get my yellow rig, and that thing seems like it works really good. It's got all the room for beers and storage, and that thing is sick. Like for an XJ, he's up there with one of the cooler ones I've seen around, like freaking pork chop and all them boys.
Yeah, that rig works really well. I don't remember if it had an LS in it or not, or what the deal was with that.
I think
But
it's a
It's just
regular
a four
straight
liter.
six.
Yeah, I think it's just a
Yeah,
4 liter.
I know that my neighbor had it for a little while, and then it went back to Eddie, I believe, or Eddie's dad. So that's cool. I'm
yeah.
just, I think it's dope. I really like the yellow paint scheme. The silver looked like shit.
They said that they're gonna paint it back. I said the same thing to them, and they're. I can't remember what he said that they were waiting on, but they're gonna put it back to Yamaha yellow
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
as it belongs.
It's fucking awesome.
Speaking of Eddie, I got to ride in his rig to go get mine off the mountain, and that shit is sick. It is so
Yeah,
cool.
it seems like he found like that perfect mix of like bouncer and trail rig with that thing. Like it's really well done.
Yeah, and the rear steer, that was I think the first rear steer buggy I've ever ridden in, and so he's got a pretty good handle on using the rear steer now, and so he was putting on a clinic, just driving up everything. We got Shop Kid behind us. He's beating the shit out of his rig to try to follow Eddie up stuff that he's just like idling up, little rear steer here and there, idle up some more, and you hear fucking Shop Kid back there just what? It was awesome. And we
That's
roll up and we park sideways and just wait on the rest of the gang, and they're all just winching behind us.
Eddie can
Oh,
also fucking drive too, so that definitely helps.
yeah. Sig hanging out of his mouth, beer in hand, just soft, having a blast. That shit was awesome. It was a good weekend. I mean, it's been a good season. I mean, Collins, Black Sammy was out of the garage. They swapped the transfer case on the trailer, and then wheeled it until, geez, what happened to that thing? Something broke.
Did the
I can't
blue
remember.
one blow the steering up or the black one blow the steering up?
Oh, yeah, it was the black one. That's what I'm trying to remember. Is it had some overheating issues that they were trying to bleed out, and then it smoked the steering pump after they had swapped transfer cases in the parking lot. And so the blue one is dialed. That thing is like, as far as samurais go, it's all you need. I don't. It's like all you need for any rig. It's light. It's got big old treps. It's got not enough power to break anything. It flexes like crazy, and it's like turnkey reliable. It's fucking tits.
Yeah, it seems like it works really fucking well.
Yeah, like of all the rigs, besides Jordan's is very nice now. That one is going to be just one that works all year, I believe.
Jordan's
Jordan's
rig
rig is
also
sick.
fucks.
Yeah, it's like an like 4800 car, I want to say. 40, I don't know the
Oh yeah, isn't it?
It's
What's his
Capalto's
name's?
old buggy.
Yeah,
The
that
ben
thing is nasty. I've seen that thing jump like 15 feet in the air to flat, and then just kept on fucking rocking. Like, and
Yeah.
then it's a very, very well done rig. Very well
Yep.
done.
Yeah, Bent Fab out of Kentucky, and it's very well done, and it's so Jordan because he's so like anal about cage work and safety and like shocks and
Yeah.
suspension geometry. Like it's so perfect, and he loves it because it's like perfect. And so I'm stoked for him. It's on 43 stickies now too, which he did after buying it on
Okay.
40-inch
That
sticky Mickeys.
that's a choice.
Yeah, so
That is a
it's
choice.
it's awesome because the belly sits so low because of like race car mode, and then it's on just like some 43-inch fucking monster tires, and
Wow. All
he just
right.
drives it like full speed everywhere. We were doing 70 miles an hour on the Green Trail entryway at AOP. Just
Yeah, I'm
keep
not
up.
surprised. He did. I know that Capalto was thinking about doing like Ultra 4 stuff with it when he built it and like really took his time. And I remember like kind of following the build as he was posting shit on Facebook about it. And it was impressive to say the least. It was very impressive.
Yeah, that's a cool rig, and it's basically indestructible. I mean, it's got everything you could ever need under it, and so yeah, that thing is tits. Another good, reliable rig that'll last a long time. Michaels is almost done. I think he got bit again by the bug to like get it finished after the AOP Ultra 4 trip, and so
Yeah, he
that's
tried to be like an adult or something, right? Is what he was saying.
well, big man started a business, and I think he got a little spooked when he was like, "Oh shit! Like I'm unemployed except for my own. Like I like
Yeah, pretty
I
valid.
gotta go work for these paychecks. They're not just gonna. I can't just show up somewhere and the paychecks come anymore. So I think he got a little spooked and was like crashing out a little, thinking about selling it, and all the things that you would do if you were trying to start a business. And I think he's gonna be all right. The rig is gonna be all right. It's not going anywhere.
I mean, he's been working on it. I'm excited to get him back on once it's running because we haven't had an episode with just him on. He's always had a compatriot,
Yep.
whatever the
Yeah,
fuck you.
that would be a fun one too to have him talk about the whole build process and the challenges that he's overcome. It's a lot. I think he's on his like third motor or something because the first two didn't work.
That's impressive to say the least.
Disastrous, and a feat of perseverance for the man that he's continued on.
He's had about the same level of bad luck that I had across the 7 years of owning my shit box with motors in like 6 months. I think he's up to like number 5 if I remember right.
Fuck. Yeah.
That's fucking impressive.
So like poor bastard on that front, and it's like, dude, just LS bolt in. No, fuck, kind of a
Yeah.
situation.
And he took out a perfectly good running 22RE to like an LC engineering crate motor that had no issues to try to go LS, and then had a bunch of issues with the LS. Once you get there, you're like, there's no turning back. The motor's gone, everything's gone. Like you're so
Yeah,
far into it, and you should have just kept it the way it was, probably.
that motor's
But
Yeah.
gonna live a good life though. Jake Thompson's the one that bought it. The guy that I
oh,
bought my
cool,
truck from, he's got a Samurai that fucks, and
fuck yeah,
Toyota something. I think it's a Tundra that's been modified. I forget exactly what it is, but it's an old school Yoda that's pretty fucking dope.
hell yeah. Cool that it's staying in the friend group,
Yeah, he's a good fucking dude.
the big circle.
Yeah, it was just fucking weird because I was talking with him on, I think it was the way home from buying that thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm bummed that Web Wheelers is going to be Labor Day weekend. I forgot you guys do that weekend every year, and we planned
It's
Yeah,
to
it's been the
Harlan.
same weekend since it started, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I only went to the Golden Year where we got kicked out of Good Evening Ranch.
yeah, dude. There will never be better. Let's be honest. That was such a good weekend.
That was like history books will be written around that weekend.
So
Everything
true.
just fucking worked that weekend too.
Yeah,
Well, except for the obvious, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, as far as rigs go, though, the rigs were all out and about doing fucking things. Like, there was a lot of
yeah.
parts breakage and whatnot, but you're gonna have that on a weekend with that many people fucking thrashing, and, like, everyone was running everything.
yeah. We covered almost every bit of that park that weekend. I haven't been there since and covered that much ground, which is insane, being that we were all soft and we had like 50 rigs running around.
There was more than 50 rigs. I think there was like 75 or some shit by the time it was all said and done. It was
Insane.
fucking insanely awesome. Um, yeah,
That was so unique too, to roll up and not really know you guys yet and not know really any of your any of the circle that we hang out with now. Like that was we met all the Waltz boys, and like the family grew like exponentially that
Holy
weekend.
shit. That's actually really crazy to think about, like how good of friends all of us left after coming into it, where like we met, even like some of the Waltz Crawlers boys that we met, me and Graham, like I have never met any of them, and then dude, how it ended up is pretty fucking sick, is what makes wheeling fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was like the one trip that you can like look back and be like, holy shit, I met all of you people. I met all these people that we're like best friends with now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or met like people through those people that, like met more people from their friend group that maybe didn't make that trip. And like now it's just a huge family. That
Yeah.
was a crazy, unique experience for my wheeling journey. Fucking
And
awesome.
the amount of, like, it sucks about that spot because it was the perfect, like, intermediate between north and south. It was about the same distance from the furthest ends of the people that showed up there. Um, Roush is cool, and like it's a big fucking park, so it takes. Oh, it's big by New England standards. It takes like 2 days to go and run through all of the hard shit, or 3 days to go run through all the hard shit if you want to hit all of the properties. But the vibe at Good Evening was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And Roush has been a bucket list trip for me since like high school. Like watching shit on Instagram, people running shit at Roush was like, whoa, that's like insane back in the
Dude,
day. And so I still want to go. I've never been.
it's fucking worth it. Like, the rocks there are super sticky, for a lack of a better term. Like, even when
Grippy.
yeah, they're very
It's
grippy.
grippy.
And it's hell on tires, but like you can make lines there if it's mildly not soaked that you wouldn't expect to make. Like, shit that would humble you at AOP, you can just go drive up like it's nothing at Roush.
That's cool.
I had a fucking space build fucking Comanche with an open front diff on a red trail.
Yeah.
Well,
I was not
yeah.
doing the big obstacles,
I
but I
wasn't
was
saying
on the red trail.
No, that's what I was gonna say though, is that is what makes Roush fun, is that you could like go, like you could follow your buddies onto the red trails with their big ass rigs with a fairly stock rig and still go have a damn good time and watch them do all the stupid shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's enough like green and blue and black trails that surround all the red trails that there's no problem following a group of guys with 40 plus inch tires all day.
That's sick. And for like a what you guys do with it too, like bringing viewers and stuff and groups with all different types of rigs to one place to like ride together. It sounds ideal if you can like have some shit for the hardcore guys, but then some bypasses for like the guys on 35s. That's all you can ask for in a wheeling place.
Yeah,
Or the one guy on 35s.
poor old
Yeah.
fucking Kish was tagging along. It was myself, Logan Bronco-ish, Curtis. Who else was it that was in that group? Was that just it for the first day?
For the first day, yeah, it was just the three of us.
And so we were
Four of
all
us.
bebopping around, fucking. Everyone's on stickies except for the stupid Comanche that's just following along.
Hell
So I
yeah.
felt bad for you that day.
At one point, I had my leg out just trying to, like, kick off the ground to keep up with you guys. I'm screaming, wait for me, I got tiny legs!
Yeah, fucking, we were bombing on some of the greens, just going from like red to red, and then it was a good time.
And I had no shocks in the rear, and I was trying to keep up.
I
You don't need
can't help
shock.
you with that one there, boss. That's on you.
Oh, God, it's such a world of difference with shocks in the rear. Who would have thought?
Booby
Wild.
bouncer.
Yeah, except it was just
Hey,
man titties.
I was trying not to bring up about how much they were bouncing, okay? That seemed a little personal there.
Oh shit.
Speaking of the Comanche, how's that thing doing? Last time we talked to you about it, you were finishing the coolant stuff up.
Yeah, so I got it running happily like 195 to 200. If I'm stopped for a while, she'll creep up to like 215.
That's
So
Oh, that's
it's
not
fine.
bad at all.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
that ain't bad.
it's livable right now. And I think it's the mechanical fan that's making it creep up because if I give it just a little bit more throttle, it's fine. It drops straight back down to 195 like instantly.
That's
But
not.
huh?
Sorry, I was gonna say that's not terrible. I would definitely say to grab like a decent Rock Auto replacement fan clutch for that thing.
It is funny you mention that.
The welded fan is kind of nice for the fact that the rig doesn't get hot, but it's fucking loud, like
Yeah.
really loud.
Yeah, but it's funny that you mentioned Rock Auto because I should have a heavy duty replacement here like Friday.
Sweet.
I've
Did you ever
seen. It's funny you said welded fan. I've seen the Dexter Browder. He'll put self tappers in them to hold it all together.
I'll have to take a look at that. Mine has just like two pieces of bar stock that we cut at AOP welded in, uh, and yeah, shit's mint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it
It's loud.
fucking screams on rev limiter. But fucking at Harlan, did not see a temperature over 190.
That's sick.
So like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
so that's mint. I was gonna ask, did you ever get a front locker on that pig?
Yeah, in
For a while
December.
now, right? Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you've had it for a decent bit of time now.
My
I
brain
pretty
doesn't
much
work that well.
I took it into the woods one time right after I did the front locker, just see if I actually did it right. It worked, and then I tried driving it to work, and the coolant system exploded. So Saturday, me and Tina went up into the woods, and I just was beating the balls off it for like an hour and a half straight, and it held temperature great. It did everything I asked it to do.
Fuck yeah.
I was not able to do Vendetta at my house. I really need to get rid of that fucking fallen down tree that's right at the bottom of it.
That would probably help a little bit.
And yeah, it really sucks wheeling some more technical stuff with stock gears and a 5-speed.
Yeah, it does.
Like, oh my god.
You end up just beating the dog shit out of your rig for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you kind of got fucking spoiled a little bit with 538s and 4-1 last time you were
Oh,
fucking
yes.
AOP.
Oh yeah. Next time I see you, Luke, I do plan on slapping you for bitching about being too low. I don't think that's a thing.
You want the transfer
No.
case?
Yes.
Okay, we'll chit chat.
Yeah. Just let me know how much you want. I'll pay it.
Okay. Let me hit up Urban and figure out what the Atlas is gonna be.
Done deal.
I was not a happy camper. I was stuck on this one rock that in my Cherokee, which was automatic, I would just bebop up it like it wasn't even there. I'm like, what the fuck am I getting hung up on? And Tina's like, nothing. Just go. I'm also definitely going to invest in one of those MSD Spark boxes, I think they're called.
Yeah, get a rev limiter on that thing.
Yeah, to get a rev limiter.
I constantly forget that those things don't really have rev limiters.
They have
Oh,
valve.
yeah.
I fucking forget too.
Yeah, I had a 90 that didn't have one.
So that thing with a rev limiter on it would probably be a little helpful. Cause doesn't it valve float at like 5,500 or so?
When I spit the harmonic balancer, it may or may not have gone up to 6,500. So,
Ooh, boy.
That poor
It's
4
fine.
liter.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
yeah, it was
Don't
like
worry about
as
it.
soon that day, as soon as I looked down and saw the tack at 65, that's when the harmonic balancer went.
Subject matter not related.
Totally unrelated.
Well, the harmonic balancers on those also, like, the rubber just dries out and yeets itself,
Yeah,
and then you spin it faster.
It fucking looked like that the rubber was from 87. I'll tell you that much. But I've been slowly nickel and diming this thing, getting it in better and better shape, just the little odds and ends, getting the coolant system, getting the whole drive line properly mounted instead of how I had it. I got all the shocks on it finally. I got blinkers on it finally. It's been fun.
I'll ready to go racing.
I sure as fuck am. My blinkers are fancy. They look like race lights. They blink and they do the left to right blinking like a fancy car.
Oh my god. Speaking of manuals, fucking RJ finished his, and that he drives like it's a little race car now because he's just so excited to shift fucking gears. It's so funny.
It's a deep geared Cherokee with like an AX15 or NV3500 in it is so
Yeah,
much
here's an
fun
NV.
to just fucking bebop through the gears.
Yeah,
And
except
the system
for
moves so much that you feel like you're really like Fast and Furious with it.
yeah, except for we went to a bar after my sister's birthday, and we're driving down the highway. Buckley's behind us, and he pulls up. He goes, "Hey, you guys know you don't have brake lights, right?" We're like, "What? What the fuck?" Yeah, that was a exciting turn of events because like whatever switch he had just broke in the brake lights. We're like, man, how long were we driving without brake lights? Holy shit! Good times.
Not ideal.
Oh, it was fine. It was better than the death wobble we got because he has shit tires on it right now because he's finishing up the tons. So he sold his, or yeah, I think he sold his 35s and So at the moment, he's running just like some dog shit Mickey Thompsons, and they get really fucking bad death wobble, really bad.
Funny, I think when tires do that because that's such a like you don't think your tires could give you death wobble, and you start like replacing parts, but it's just the tires.
Well, that's what he was saying when he's like, dude, I've never gotten death wobble before. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, it's probably from the tires because I was trying to think of it. Like, he has solid everything too. Like, there's no rubber components left. There's no poly components, nothing. So it's not like it's like, oh, all of a sudden, like, it just went bad. Like for some reason,
Yeah, he's got a pretty polished turd of a Dana 30, doesn't he? Like it's over the
yeah, it's
knuckle, all that
over
shit.
the axle, but yeah.
Yeah, over the knuckle, over the axle, all that shit. Is his WJ swapped? Because I thought he had like actually put a decent bit of time and money into that axle.
WJ swapped what steering? You
Knuckles
say?
for the bigger brakes. I can't remember if he did that or not.
Not that I know of,
I might
but
be
I do
thinking of
know
Jeremy Downs' Dana 30. Because
he
he's
might
got
be.
like a absolutely built out one. I couldn't remember if RJ's was really built or just had a couple of bucks thrown at it and some like over the axle shit and over the knuckle.
It's about the same build as mine.
Okay.
He has like he just has Heim joint steering, so it's nothing crazy, but like solid enough. And like we were trying to figure it out, and I was like, honestly, it could be these dog shit tires because they're like from 2007, so they're just
Oh
old fucking
fuck.
tires.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're. He picked them up for Sean, and he was like, well, I might as well drive it like this. Like, why not?
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Tires, tires. That's what you think in your head.
But let me tell you, those things, dude, I mean, it was worse death wobble than when my steering box and my like track bar was like completely egged out. Like it was atrocious. That we were going down the highway doing like 50. He has no rear shocks. Next second, that thing's wobbling like a fat chick at a fucking KFC. And like it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. But it was a good time. Ended up
Yeah.
having some good beers.
Can't argue with good beers.
No, never, never.
Good beers and death wobble.
That sounds like a good time to me. Shit.
Sign me up.
Just go full hydro, and then that way it's also sketchy to drive down the road.
Yeah, working on that at the moment. Working on it. All right.
Is he
But
doing the tons with hydro or is he going hydro assist?
Hydro says he still wants to drive it down the road.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Logan's
so
rig is fucking dope because he can still do that, but like it's starting to get a little bit clappy. It's gonna be fun watching it divulge over the next like 3 years into just a pile of trail trash. Ah,
hell yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all of them. But all right, kind of sounds like we're slowing down here a little bit. Once you get to that, yeah, is a lot slows down a bit. But honestly, Hayes, it was awesome to have you back on, man. It's always nice to see to have you come back on, update us with whatever rig you have at the current time, because God only knows what you're gonna end up with next. Um, and I'm happy that you kind of got things sorted out with the red buggy. That sucks that things didn't work out perfectly, but I'm happy to see you're on the other end of it. Um, yeah, well, thank you guys very much for listening. Any more final things? Actually, I just realized we didn't do our usual.
no, we
Any
didn't.
more fun? Any questions? Any more nothing? Hayes,
No.
got any questions?
What's the usual? What is that?
Well, usually we like ask if the guest had questions, but like you've been on 3 times now. You slowly start becoming Curtis, where you're no longer a guest, you're just a fill-in host.
Yeah.
So
Just a guy who went wheeling this past weekend with some stories to share.
Oh, shit. Since we're chatting now, probably going to be at AOP for Thanksgiving weekend doing Friendsgiving down there. So
Oh, that's cool.
if you want to swing on through for that, y'all are welcome to.
All right. Good deal. I know that some of us do like family stuff on Thanksgiving, but some don't, and so I'll float it to the boys and see who bites.
Hell yeah. Um, and then I'm jealous of you for going back to Harlan. I'm doing that in August, first weekend, so that's gonna be a fucking riot of a time. I'm sad that I'm missing y'all's weekend there, but
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I fucking love Harlan. I love the vibes out there. It's lawless, and that's my home.
I like Harlan a lot more on the Everett side now that we stayed over there. Fuck the Putney side, but yeah.
Yeah, Everett's side is cool because number one, you can drive rigs around on the street without any issues. Like going to the gas station, going to get food, all that stuff. That's cool.
I've
And
I've
then
heard that before. Is that true that they just like as long as you're not being a total cunt, they don't
They
care?
just don't care.
yeah, it's totally legal. To have like OHV shit, dirt bikes, four wheelers, everything's allowed on the road. And at
What
one
the
point,
fuck?
we were at the gas station with the rigs after wheeling all day, getting gas and like a pizza or something. And I had my tire on Charlie's like roof, and the cops show up, and I start like wigging out because I mean like we're we're being idiots at the gas station, and the cop gets out of his car and he's like, "Flip the damn thing over, you pussy!" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And he like didn't even look twice at us. He said that and just walked straight in the gas station, like like it was totally normal. I was like, "All right, okay, Everett."
Yeah, it's dope. Broncoish was telling me that they just drive into town all the time with their shit, and his is like a full-blown ex-Bronco thing that was heinous, and I think is dead now, but I'm not sure. Um,
Yeah,
and it was fucking awesome.
yep. I'm excited to go back.
We ran, I can't remember the order exactly, but I think it's like killing time into lower profanity into upper profanity, or I might have that
Yep,
backwards, and then like we
yep.
ended up going up to Lion's Den, and I've beaten this story to death, but it was a fucking killer night ride. We were out until like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, somewhere in there, and then slept in the truck and went home.
Hell yeah. That's that. Those are the best rides. Gets nice and cool outside. You just lose track of time, and next thing you know, it's fucking 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Sun's coming up.
It's fucking awesome, and that place is like built for that. You can just go.
hmm Yeah, that ride that you just described is probably what you guys did. That's a good ride. And even lower than that, you can start at like Fish Fossil, go from that to like the lower rock garden, and then into Killing Time and up from there.
Yeah, we
And
went through
so,
like Lower Rock Garden and all that shit, but it wasn't. I didn't know the names of that trail. I know we didn't do Fish Fossil. I think we did something else in there that like cut over into the bottom, but I was just along for the ride. I was like Jeep number 6 in the fucking line that went up the mountain to begin with, so I
cool.
just followed.
Yep. Staying on the Everett side too is good and bad because you have to pass the waterfall to go like home at night. And so it takes a lot of willpower not to fucking veer right and just beat on your shit on the waterfall.
That was not the experience we ran into. We went up the mountain with like 6 or 7 rigs, and by the end of the night, there was 2 rigs that were running. So
Yeah, and that's usually how it goes. But if you want to take the last two out of their misery, just stop at the waterfall.
I decided against doing that and saved it for the next morning, where I beat on the waterfall for like 10 minutes and made myself look like a jackass by getting nowhere.
Yep, that's usually
Happens.
what I do. I've
You
still
do
never been
that
up.
just by showing up, Luke. So
Fair enough. I'm not gonna deny it, but thank you for coming on, dude. This one was fun as fuck.
Yeah, man, it's always good to catch up with you guys. And this one was a surprise. I was chilling on the couch. I was like, "Oh, you guys, it's Tuesday already."
You're like, oh
I'm
shit.
glad. I'm glad it worked out, and I wasn't doing something stupid across town on Facebook Marketplace.
Hell yeah. Can't argue with that. Thank you for coming on, and to everyone else out there, have a good fucking night.